All right, so I was just able to see the latest Angel Studios movie, The Shift. Angel Studios is the studio behind the summer hit Sound of Freedom, the surprise summer hit, and they are also behind the kind of behind the scenes, quieter hit TV show, The Chosen. So Angel Studios has really been busy as of late, and this is their latest movie that they made that kind of plays with the multiverse theme that is pretty popular in media today, especially in movies. Right, you got Marvel movies doing multiverse stuff, Spider-Man movies. You got Everything Everywhere All at Once, which came out last year, doing multiverse stuff. TV shows of all different types are doing multiverse things. This is an idea that has been around for a while, but it's becoming more as popular as it's ever been. So Angel Studios is giving a crack at it, and I have to say I was pleasantly surprised. I hadn't really seen any trailers, and I had a vague idea what the movie was about, but I kind of walked into this one blind, and I have to say I was expecting a lot worse because I know Angel Studios is not a big Hollywood studio. It doesn't have as large of a budget as, say, your Disney's or your Warner Brothers or anything like that. So usually a lower budget means lower quality. It doesn't necessarily mean a bad movie, but sometimes, I mean, just look at Hallmark movies, for example. You pay for what you get. But I'm pleased to say that despite the budget being clear on screen, right? You can see if this movie had a higher budget, the quality of the special effects and maybe the acting in certain spots would have been elevated. But all in all, this movie does a good job of standing on its own 2 feet, and its budget is not really a huge distracting factor through most of the runtime, which was good. Our lead performer here, he is okay. He's not bad. He doesn't really distract from the movie, but he doesn't really bring a lot of charisma or gravitas to his role in a lot of ways. But the supporting cast around him is really good, especially Neil McDonough, who plays our villain. He's really good. He's been in a lot of Hollywood stuff as kind of a character actor. So this is the largest role I've seen him in before, and he nails it. He's a really good bad guy, and he is the highlight performance of the movie for sure. The biggest interesting thing about this movie is that it is very much a Christian movie. It is very in your face about its Christianity. The story is essentially a sort of adaptation or a retelling, if you will, of the story of Job from the Bible. And they don't try to hide that fact at all. They make references to it. There are verses from the book of Job that they put on the screen. So they're not trying to hide that fact from the audience at all, that this is supposed to remind you as another version of the Job story from the Bible. And while I respect the movie for being so in your face about it and being unapologetic about, its inspirations and the message it's trying to tell, I do think they did not go quite far enough, especially with the relationship between our main character and God, who is referenced and talked about quite a bit in this movie. It's no surprise then that since if this is a story that's adapting Job, our villainous character is our stand-in for the devil. And he has a lot of one-on-one interactions with our devil character. And even though God is referenced many times, God is kept at a distance in this movie. And if you've actually read Job in the Bible, you will see that God is very present and very active in that story, just like he is throughout the whole Bible. But in this movie, God is very much distant. They don't say anything bad about God or anything like that. But I kind of wish that just like how we got an on-screen representation of the devil and all his points and his characteristics, I kind of wish that we could see how personal of a God is in this movie, because God is personal, and in this movie he seems kind of distant. Also, I do think this movie is made for Christians. If a non-believer watches this movie, they'll know it's a Christian movie, but I don't think they would get a lot out of it because the movie, while it does have a message about perseverance and faith and following God no matter how hard things get, from a non-believer's perspective, the way the movie presents it, I could see it feeling very wishy-washy with how vague the terminology is. So if you are already a believer, then this movie will have a lot more of an impact than a non-believer, which may be what Angel Studios was going for. I don't know. I don't know what main denomination the studio is or anything like that. So yeah, all in all, it was a good watch. I don't know if I would ever watch it again. It's kind of a one-time thing. But if you want to go see a movie that is very much a Christian movie that is very unique, it's a sci-fi Christian movie, so that's a plus. There's not a lot of those. It's a great. There's a lot of romance in this movie. It's a great date night movie. But yeah, I would definitely say this is worth your time if everything I've said sounds interesting to you. I don't think you'd be too disappointed. So yeah,